Welcome to Progress in San Diego. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Walter Davis. And with me this evening, I have the pleasure to have Janice Luna Reynoso, director of Mundo Gardens, among a number of other things that we're going to be discussing. And welcome to the show, Janice.
Thank you. Pleasure to be
Welcome,
here.
welcome, welcome. Janice is involved in so many different projects. You have youth and leaders living actively, which is the sponsor that they have, and they're involved with volunteer coaching and soccer. Mundo Gardens, Mundo Gallery, Omeka, Chocolate Roses, Refugio, Roots Music Production, and Afro Mestizo. So many things. You are just a powerhouse, aren't you?
Thank you. I wish I could do more, actually. I wish I could do more, and I encourage others to participate as little or as much as they can. It's truly rewarding.
So tell me, what drives you? What is this is obviously a passion of yours.
Yes.
So tell me about that. How did that start for you to get involved in so many things?
To be involved in so many things. Well, just growing up and seeing the need for social change as a child, and not just that, but seeing also the benefits of that. And as a mother now and working with youth, I see that there's just so many things that are needed in the community. It's not just one thing. And if I can do one thing, I can do the next, and see they're all somehow connected. And that's what drives me, that there's not just one need that needs to be met. There's more than one, and where there's ability, if it's not on my behalf, it can be provided by people that I work with, and whether they're able to contribute a little or a lot, we welcome it, and it makes a difference.
Now, so obviously, you growing up, being a Chicana or Mexican American, how did that affect your outlook, and did you find that beneficial?
I did find it beneficial. I grew up knowing about my roots, and being so close to the border, I was able to experience a lot of the cultural richness in the Mexican culture, and also very proud of being not just Mexican, but Mexican American, and being able to also have friendships with many of the other ethnic groups of where I grew up, African American. There was a large Filipino population where I also grew up. I found it beneficial to be also a child of color, a young girl of color, Chicana, to be able to have many things in common with these youth. And I also found it beneficial to know a second language, to also be able to connect with my elders, family members, and to just know a little more than if I didn't have that experience. I also, there was many benefits, but I also saw needs for, a need for unity. Although growing up I did have, some of my best friends were African American, I also felt that there was a conflict. So instead of focusing on or being brought down by what that might have felt like, or the negativity that I might have experienced in that sense, I instead focused on the beauty and the friendships that I did have. So I didn't see things so much in a negative sense. I really had more to look forward to by experiencing the positive.
So what I'm hearing is that you have a perception of your past, and I'm seeing you recognize things that need to be changed in the present.
Yes.
And it appears as though you're working towards a better future
Yes.
for your community and for young people in particular.
Yes, and recognizing each other's culture and valuing it, and seeing what we have in common more than the things that can separate us sometimes, and not understanding that our cultures, that we need each other.
Outstanding. Now, was there something that happened in your life? Was there a turning point or something that caused you to really put this into motion?
Yes, I truly became empowered when I, along with my 3 daughters, moved back to California. We came back home after being gone for many years, and I found what was one of the greatest things and it is Capoeira Angola. I always wanted to train in martial arts, and I never thought it was feasible being a single mother or just always working so hard, and it just came to me. So with that opportunity of finding a martial art that not only kept me active, helped me become stronger physically, emotionally, it was truly empowering, and the richness and the culture and the art that I found really made an impact. And in training in the art form, I also made connections with some of the most progressive, positive people that I now work with and on many of these projects.
Well, outstanding. Can you talk about this instrument? I mean, it's obvious, it's laying on the table here. So can you kind of go into that? What is this?
This is a berimbau, and it is used to play the music for Capoeira Angola, and it has African roots. The origin of Capoeira Angola is Africa, and it is widely known to be Brazilian. The berimbau is the main instrument that is played with the dobrao that you see there. It is a stone. It can be a stone or a metal, almost like the money that is used in Brazil, the peso. And so it is an inspiration. It is an art form in itself, even just the music that goes along with the playing of the games for Capoeira Angola, which are so inspiring and beautiful to see, and hopefully one of these days I get a chance to share that with you and the audience.
Well, I sure want to hear this. I mean, it looks so interesting. I want to hear this played. I mean, it looks fascinating to me. So tell me about programs that you are involved in that are specific to refugees. Let's move forward a little more.
The program that is specifically geared towards refugee youth is Youth and Leaders Living Actively. The founder and director, Mark Caban, began this organization 19 months ago and now has received national recognition. They received awards from the Do Something Award from the VH1 Music Awards channel. And not just that, it's the impact that it has made with these youth in San Diego is it's outstanding, it's inspiring. And when this program first started, it really inspired me to take action, participate, and also start all these other works that I have mentioned to you. The program, YALA, it's an acronym, Youth and Leaders Living Actively, but YALA is the original Just Do It. It is an Arabic word that means come on, get active, get involved, let's go. And these children now have an opportunity to play soccer and feel unified in something that is positive. They've suffered through war. These children are mainly of Iraqi background, and it really is making an impact. In San Diego, we have the largest Iraqi population, Iraqi refugee population in the world, and this program has really just made outstanding strides, and it keeps growing. And I'm really glad to be a part of it, and I just encourage anyone who is wanting to volunteer and coach, or even if it's just tutoring after school one day of the week, it really does make a difference. And I'm only able to do so much, but even the little bit that I do is appreciated and impacts so many of the youth.
So there are volunteer opportunities for coaching and soccer specifically.
For coaching and soccer specifically, and also in their scholar program, where these children are encouraged to learn as much as they can to succeed and also themselves become active leaders in the community.
Now tell me about Mundo Gardens.
Mundo Gardens is a project that I began also last year, and we christened it with this name this summer, wanting to have a name that incorporated the mundo, which is the world, and a name that is also recognizes what my roots are. It has a Spanish language in there, but it's, hopefully everyone will one day know what mundo means, and it's the world, so it incorporates all cultures, and we're bringing well, we have gardening classes at the garden. We also have nutrition classes. We have art there. We have a special platform there especially made for capoeira Angola, and also we may do yoga on there or any other dances or any other performances. So we're bringing all these different arts to the garden for youth to participate in, and also musicians are coming to the garden and providing their performances. It could be a one-time or constant involvement that we definitely encourage from different artists throughout the community.
So that's a reflection on the Mundo Gallery in terms of artists coming.
Yes, we do have some of our artists coming through Mundo Gallery and other artists that just contact Mundo Gardens directly. But we do also encourage them to participate in the programs that Mundo Gallery has to offer and the different exhibitions that they hold there. The garden has its own place. It is its own garden, and it is in collaboration with Mundo Gallery and the artivists that we're so proud to be linked with there.
What term is used? They're called what?
Artivist.
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 Explain that.
Artivism. It's art that exemplifies social justice.
So you are certainly a candidate to come on Laura Thompson's show, Community Artist Connections, and it sounds like you have something to offer to Marilyn McLeod and her show, and it also sounds like Joe Stevens could utilize you on his show when it gets into production. So it appears as though on all of our shows you've got something to offer, all of the executive producers. So I'd encourage you to maintain contact so we can give you some high visibility. What part of town are these? Is the Mundo Gallery and Mundo Gardens located? Where is that?
Mundo Gallery is located in North Park.
Okay.
And the director for Mundo Gallery is Mario Torero. He is a widely known muralist in San Diego, and also Pablo Acevedo. So that is his son, and they're a team. They work together doing murals. They just did a mural in UCSD, which is called Chicano Legacy, 40 years of Chicano legacy. Beautiful. It's a beautiful mural made of mosaic art. And I encourage all of you to take a visit down to UCSD just to take a look at that.
Now, so a lot of this stems back to the Moorish Empire, I suppose, the mosaic art that you're referring to, does it not, or beyond? Are you familiar with that at all?
I am not familiar with that.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that I have found most interesting in developing Mundo Gardens is that I'm a student myself. I'm learning these things, and I'm open to any discussion. And just right now, if you can even give me a little lesson on what you learn on that, I'll take it with me and pass it on. And that's the beautiful thing about working with so many different people with so many different gifts and talents, is that we can always learn more. Not one of us knows everything, but together we definitely have a wealth of knowledge and experience and gifts to share.
Well, you mentioned, we're going to talk about this in a minute, chocolate roses and Afro mestizo, which are, I suppose they are references to the African American or the African experience, and so many people don't know about the Moorish Empire, which was a combination of Persian, Jewish, Phoenician, African armies that conquered Europe and ruled Europe for 750 years.
Yes.
So this architecture that we call Spanish is really from that empire. And primarily it was made up of African nations and warriors. And there is a museum on Congress Street, the Casa del Rey de Moro, which has Chuck Ambers as the director. And many of the documents there talk about this era, and they talk about the early Californians that populated this area, a large percentage of which, in some cases up to 50%, were of African descent. And so most people, or a lot of people, don't know that. And when you go to the Cabrillo Monument, they don't represent that. They don't even indicate that the explorers that came over were of African descent. You don't even see that. So that's why I'm so happy to see you have things like chocolate roses and mestizo. But can you talk about Olmeca?
Olmeca, yes. And that, I'll begin with talking about Chocolate Roses that was developed for girls of color to teach, it's a mentorship program to teach the girls to be proud of their brown skin, their black skin, and their curly hair, and to be proud to wear their afros, and also treasure their beauty and using natural beauty products that were created with the Chocolate Roses program. As these girls were in this mentorship program, we also saw a unique friendship develop between the African and African American and the Latino girls in the group. And not just that, but also while there was a booth that was set up at the La Jolla Farmers Market, people would come up and were just so excited to hear the director, Roxana Rodriguez, speaking in Spanish. She's a beautiful black woman, and people just wanted to, they were like, how can you speak Spanish if you're black? And so they go on to explain the connection and the history of Africans in the Americas in pre-Columbian times and also through the slave trade. But there's so much that we have in common. So the Chocolate Roses program is being developed into the Olmeca program, and it encompasses a larger range of knowledge to where we are encouraging all community members. It's not just geared towards the young girls, but anyone who wants to participate in the research of our African roots here in California, in South America and Central America in pre-Columbian times, and the unity and the history that we share. And much of that is needed now. We have so much in common that we can definitely share in the wealth of history and the wealth of culture, and lift each other up.
Okay, so did you cover all you wanted to on Olmeca, or was that just Chocolate Roses you talked about?
That was Chocolate Roses transitioning to Olmeca. So it is the research program and the mentorship program for finding more about the African roots. And Roxana will be doing an internship with Chuck that you had mentioned from the Casa Rey del Morro. And I know you had asked me and I didn't go over where Mundo Gardens is located. We have one of our first gardens located in National City, bordered by Southeast San Diego and overlooked by the 805 freeway. Definitely a unique spot for this little pocket farm called Joe's Pocket Farm. And we encourage anyone to come down there and work with us. We had the support of Victory Gardens on our first groundbreaking, and this happened last year. And we just are so thankful to have received different contributions. The New School of Architecture built us our deck, especially designed for capoeira, and they were very excited also to learn about the history of capoeira Angola, and just a lot of things a lot of different wealths of knowledge and experiences that can enrich all of our lives.
So you have little things going on all over San Diego County, it seems like.
All over, yes. We have the Yala Youth and Leaders Living Actively in El Cajon taking place daily.
And that's primarily with the Iraqi community.
With the Iraqi
Okay, youth and leaders living actively. We're getting down to our last 10 minutes, so I need to make sure we get as much in as possible. You want to talk about Refugio Roots Music Production?
Definitely. Refugio Roots Music Production. We encourage and have a participation from artists and musicians throughout the community. And my thought on this was, these artists are singing beautiful songs of change and social justice. And I said, you know, how about not just singing about it? Let's get our hands in the dirt. And I would really like to see the participation of more artists and musicians and actually working with the youth. So we're developing this program through Refugio Roots Music Production. And when they do come to the music studio to record, we also have events posted so that the artists can get involved in and encourage them to practice their philanthropy and really just not wait for them to become fully successful, or as you may see, a lot of the artists now that they're very wealthy are giving back to the community. We encourage participation now at the roots level, you know.
So, go on.
The community will be the ones to lift them up. They'll be their biggest fans and possibly promote them and give them the success that they need to make a living.
So we have many different youth programs within the coalition, and I certainly want to make you aware of many of those, including Vertical. They do video productions for youth. So I see a lot of opportunities for synergy. And then the Afro Mestizo.
Afro Mestizo. It is one of the programs that also studies and teaches children about the African roots in a lot of our Latin music. It emphasizes teaching Mexican music and also performing that with the focus on música cubana, music from the Dominican Republic, music from South America, Colombia, and all of the Afro rhythms that are in this music that we don't even know come from Africa. So it's really just letting children know, be proud of your culture, or telling people, did you know that a lot of this comes from Africa, and then this part comes from our indigenous roots, this part comes from Europe. So it just really breaks it down and letting us know where our roots come from or where our love for music comes from. We don't necessarily need to be of Latino or African background to love the Latino music, but it really is an educational experience in itself.
Excellent. We're down to our last 5 or 6 minutes here. So what can others do to help you on these projects?
I encourage you to volunteer. That's the best way to just gain support. If you're going to be, say, a contributor at one point, I encourage you to volunteer first so that you know where your contributions are going to, and you can easily direct your funds to where you see the programs are most needed or what interests you, or where you see there's more of a need. Also, just the social capital that we can gain from working together is so valuable. I encourage youth to volunteer. I encourage children to even become volunteers, students, mothers. If I had more time, I would put so much more into this, and I know that it seems like I'm already doing a lot, but really, there's only a little bit that I can do for each of these programs. You're very valuable. Your volunteer efforts are needed. Your research efforts, if you would like to get involved in programs like Olmeca, or even just hanging out at a one-time event, we will definitely put it to good use, and the children will definitely benefit, not just the children, but their families and other community members that see you participating. It will encourage them to do the same.
Okay. And so we'll be listing the website for these various organizations on the Community Coalition website, and we'll have contact information provided so that if you have an interest in getting involved with Yala, Mundo Gallery, Mundo Gardens, Olmeca, Chocolate Roses, Refugio Roots Music Production, or Afro Mestizo, or all of them, we'll have information regarding how you can get involved and be a positive impact in the community. So tell me about what does a success look like to you in terms of these organizations working together and your objectives and your vision? What does success look like to you?
Success looks like what would be the programs being sustainable and also growing, and seeing that kids are happy at the end of the day. Long term, of course, seeing that they grow with the program and that they're able to accomplish their goals. So in all these individual programs, the education is a big part of it. Whether it's telling someone some verbal history about something they didn't know and they leave with a little bit more knowledge, that's success in itself. You're planting a seed, and there's nothing that could stop that. Something positive. And
you have an art expo coming up in the near term. Tell me about that.
Yes, there'll be an art exhibition next week taking place at Mundo Gallery. They'll be participating in an art exhibition in North Park. You can also look that up, and it'll be listed on the Community Coalition.
Outstanding. And so you have regular events, right? They may not be at a regular interval, but you have art expos, and you have, I don't want to mispronounce the word, capoeira.
Capoeira, yes.
There's this martial arts classes?
Yes,
also?
there are classes available, and we will list the schedule. There's a group of people always training. You can also go to World Beat Center. There's classes that take place there on Saturdays, and that's a good introduction. I encourage you to look at that. Refugio Roots Music Production will have its grand opening coming soon, and we'll also list that, and it is open to community and community leaders. And what else can I say? Definitely volunteers are needed at Youth and Leaders Living Actively. We're looking for coaches who want to make a difference.
Well, great, and thank you so much. We're down to our last minute right now, and I want to just thank you for coming to the show. I want to extend an invitation to our studio audience to come into the studio and become part of our studio audience, and also join us on the internet. Tell your family and friends about us. Come back every Sunday at 5 o'clock for Progress in San Diego, and 6 o'clock for Elise Smith Cooper's show, Community Issues, A Tapestry of Concerns. You can see Coach Marilyn McLeod come on with Consider the Possibilities every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And we have Laura Thompson coming on every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. With Community Artist Connection. In addition, Rick Ironton and also Joseph Stevens are going to be producers very soon. And we'll have 2 additional shows part of our network, and hopefully we're also going to get Janice to come and become an executive producer as well. I encourage you to volunteer for our television shows and learn the art of television production and or become part of our studio audience. I really appreciate you being here with me, and thank you so very much for viewing this, and I'll see you next time. This is Walter Davis.